Hola amigos, welcome back. We're all about making some money at the casino here. Playing some Baccarat at the casino yesterday. Let's talk about it right after this. Okay, casino amigos, I'm back from the casino. So how did I do? I told someone in the comments last week about my bet you can't lose strategy. So I decided that's what I will do at the casino this trip. Sort of like put my money where my mouth is. I decided I was going to play it 5 times, and I also decided that I was going to up the minimum bet from $25 to $50 this time. This doubles the size of the bankroll required, but I'm playing with casino money, so I guess what difference? I'm sure the casino would appreciate a chance to win it back. I'll do my best not to let that happen. When I went up to the Baccarat tables, there was 2 $25 tables and 1 $50 table, and they both had a maximum of 5,000. They were all packed full, so I just decided this is not my time, so I left and went and had a coffee. When I came back, both the $25 tables had an empty seat. So I sat down and handed the lady dealer $3,000, and she counted me out the chips and called the pit boss over to market, and I gave him my card. I looked at the scoreboard, and the last winner was a banker, so my system's going to be banker, banker, player. I put $50 bet on the banker and sat there and waited. There was a couple superstitious players, both trying to be the last one to put their bet out. Anyway, the first one was a banker, so I was done there. I was just sitting there watching to see how long it takes these two to make the last bet, and along comes a new dealer, and they switched. I thought, this is just perfect for me. While they were changing, I quietly put $300 in green chips in my pocket. I sat there for a couple more hands, and then I colored up. The dealer calls the pit boss whenever they color up, and they count up the chips and give me some bigger chips, and the pit boss punches it into the computer that I have about $2,700. Now the computer will show that I lost about $300. If you're wondering why, this is how you get comps. The casinos just love it when you lose. Just a note here, don't put the black chips in your pocket. They all have tracking chips in them. They know where they are at all times. Green and red chips are fine. I left the table and went to the cashier and cashed in my $2,700 in chips. Give her my player's card. Went for a walk and come back in about 20 minutes, maybe half hour. This time when I come back, there was an empty seat at the $50 table. I changed my $2,700 back into chips. The last win on the board was player, so my betting is going to be player, player, banker. And I won on the third Martindale bet, the $50 table. I saw there was an open seat at a $25 table, so I just picked up my chips and went over to the $25 table. And I won on the first bet there. I decided I was just going to sit there and watch. So if anybody complained or somebody wanted my seat. After about 10 minutes, an empty seat come up at the other $25 table, so I picked up my chips and I moved over there. The pit boss noticed and marked that down on the computer too. The last win had been a banker, so I was betting banker, banker, player, banker, banker, player. I lost on the first bet, then the $100 bet won. I picked up my chips and went right back over to the $50 table. Bet $50 on the player, and it won first crack. So there was my 5 tries. This is too easy. I had to tell myself, don't get greedy. So I colored up, minus about $100 in my pocket again. I went back to the cashier and changed it back into cash. And she scanned my card also. I want them to know that I lost, so they send me comps to encourage me to come back. I went to a different cashier spot and cashed in the loose chips in my pocket. And this time I did not give them my player's card. I headed over to the buffet, and after eating I was sitting there having a coffee, and a lady come over to my table. I recognized her from one of our earlier bus trips. She come up and said, "I have a joke for you." Well, here it is. 2 little old ladies sitting in church, half dozing, listening to the sermon. The one lady sort of rocked back and forth a little bit and says, "My bum's gone to sleep." And the other lady turned to her and said, "I know, I heard it snoring." That put a smile on my face. A couple of hours later I went back to the Baccarat tables and did the same thing over again. It took quite a bit longer because the tables were fuller and got busier, I guess. But I got it done. I was in no hurry. I was sitting at an empty table, sitting and waiting for a spot to open up. One of the pit bosses come over and started gabbing with me. He was telling me that the Baccarat tables have the best odds of any game in the casino, but the Baccarat tables make more money for the casino than all the other tables put together. On that cheery note, let's bring this to an end here. I will be going to a Caesars casino on Sunday. I think I will stick with the $50 bets and give it another whirl at Caesars. If anybody wants a better explanation of my bet you can't lose theory, let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. As always, thank you for hitting that like button and subscribing.